Hello everyone, welcome to Smart Market Insights here on Kalkine TV. I'm Sage, and today we'll be shining some light on what Australia's debt means for the taxpayers. So keep watching till the end. Since 1901, Australia has been mainly under a budget deficit, and several economists say a budget deficit is not always a bad thing. However, magnitude sets the difference. And as the federal government released the budget on 29th of March, let's see how Australia's debt looms and what it means for the taxpayers. Now, before jumping to the numbers, let's first understand what is meant by a country's debt. A national debt is defined by its budget deficit, and when a government's expenditure exceeds its earnings, it creates a budget deficit. So if the deficit exceeds, governments either cut down on their spending or try to increase the taxes. So how bad is Australia's debt? Well, Australia is among the top 7 pandemic-era spenders globally, and its central bank hasn't increased its interest rate yet. The nation is still functioning at an interest rate near 0%. However, initial lockdowns imposed in the country have caused massive economic losses. Despite extra government expenditure in schemes such as the JobKeeper scheme in 2020, the Australian economy slipped into recession for the first time since the 1990s. And since 2020, the federal government increased their spending to stimulate the economy and has subsequently piled up an extra debt of nearly 300 billion Australian dollars. Now, according to Australia's Treasurer Josh Frydenberg, Australia is expected to experience a deficit of close to 78 billion Australian dollars in the upcoming financial year, 3.4% of the GDP. And now let's take a look at how bad Australia's debt is and what it means for the taxpayers. Several economists expected that the government would increase taxes to maintain a lower debt. However, the budget was primarily focused on relieving the mounting living of cost expenses, so the mounting living expenses. Australia's inflation is rising because of the supply chain woes caused by the pandemic, and the Russian invasion is yet another nail in the wall. Grocery, petrol prices, iron, coal and nickel prices have all skyrocketed, you may have noticed. A temporary fuel excise cut and a one-off $250 payment is going to be paid out to 6 million low-income Australians. That was announced during the budget. Some say that most of the relief strategies announced by the government in the budget for citizens are only short-term, however, and the reliefs are just an attempt for Scott Morrison's government to win the vote bank in the upcoming federal elections. However, the Treasurer said the government is rather banking the dividend of a strong economy. And thanks for joining us on that. Hopefully you found it informative. Time to wrap up the show. It looks like, for at least the time being, the high debt burden does not seem to be heavily imposed on Australian taxpayers. However, it's yet to be seen how the policies will play out following the upcoming federal elections in May. Keep watching Kalkine TV. We've got more of these great shows lined up for you, sharing insights into the markets and stock-related trends. And until the next episode, keep watching. Stay here signing off.